Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classes of Cinematics. I'm joined as always with my co-host. We got Bob Rubens.
I was gonna go with Pee-wee Blockbuster, but that'll work. Yo.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I've been practicing my laugh all week. I don't know how
Okay, folks. So this is the show where we talk about the films that influenced and warped us, man. So today we got no exception, man. This is a great film from back in the day, and today we're going to be talking about Pee-wee's Big Adventure from 1985. And this film is directed by Tim Burton, and the story goes as this. Pee-wee Herman, an eccentric childlike man, loves his red bicycle and will not sell it to his envious neighbor Francis. While Pee-wee visits his friend Dottie, the bike is stolen. Thinking his bike is at the Alamo, Pee-wee sets off on a trip where he meets many remarkable people, including waitress Simone and a motorcycle gang and Large Marge. Eventually, Pee-wee discovers that his bike is being used in a movie and tries to recover it. So, starring Pee-wee Herman, we've got Paul Rubens. We've also got Mark Holton. We've got Diane Salinger. E.G. Daly plays Dottie. Michael Varhall. And Judd Omen, Lynn Marie Stewart, John Paragon, and it's a lot of people in this. And I do want to point out that most of these people, the story, the way it's structured, we're basically following Pee-wee. So a lot of these people are more like cameos yeah, or bit parts, you know, as along his adventure. But right. I'm gonna bring out some of the notables. We got Cassandra Peterson in here, James Brolin. Is that Josh Brolin's pops?
It might be. I don't know how many Brolins there are in the world, but
yeah, Brolin's in Hollywood.
Yeah, there you go.
We got Phil Hartman, Morgan Fairchild, Jan Hooks, Jason Harvey. Yo, what's the name's brother? Kevin Arnold's brother from Wonder Years.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some guy named Professor Tanaka, who played a butler. They got him dressed up in his kung fu in his profile picture for the cast. Ed Griffith. We've got a lot of people. Also, what's my man? I already said that. Judd Omen plays Mickey, the criminal that's on the run. We get Dee Snider,
Twisted Sister. Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. So we got a lot of people in this film. A lot of crazy stuff, man. So I like that suit, by the way, man.
Hey, man, you know, trying, you know. This is a good reason to put a suit on. This, you know, when the dog puts on a suit, most of the time it's not for a good reason. So there you go.
That's crazy, man. My Bob went to the beer store like that.
I did. They're like, where are you going? Like, and you're buying beer. So what's going on? I said, here's a Foster's.
All right, man, let's get into it. So what do we like about this film?
Oh, man, first and foremost, I mean, there's a lot of things that I really like about this film, but one of the things that stood out to me more than anything else is the music. Danny Elfman, he kills it.
Yes.
And I mean, he's very notable for doing movie scores, but with this one, it's like the music gives this film a pulse, a heartbeat in a sense. You know what I'm saying? It takes us on this roller coaster, and it makes the film feel that much more emotional. Like when you're watching this movie, it's almost like it reminded me, because of the childlike element, it felt like watching like old school like Looney Tunes or Merry Melodies. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, the music is kind of like it's the conductor of what we're viewing, and
because there's a few scenes where nothing's being said. Like, I'm watching in the background the day he's got his bike out, and he sees the BMX kids, and they're doing tricks, and then he tries to do tricks, and this is a scene that goes on, and there's no dialogue. It's just the music, and the music is driving you and keeping the energy up and keeping it kind of whimsical and just fun, you know.
And on the flip side of that coin, when his bike gets stolen, same thing's happening. But the music, it even though it's still kind of like circus-like, it's very dark. You know what I mean? And then it's funny because then you got like, there's every kind of bike that rides by Pee-wee. When he's like, he's so sad because his bike is stolen. I mean, even a mime goes by on a unibike. You know what I'm saying? On the one wheel joint. Yeah. But you know, and I just love that. Like, I watched this film like the regular way, and then with the commentary where you don't really hear much of the dialogue through the film, but you still hear that music going, and like They could say nothing. Like I said, this could be a silent film, but the music will still carry you through.
His bike is crazy, man. I just noticed the lion head on the front. It looks like a Power Ranger kind of.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the only thing the thing is missing is wings. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got everything, dog. Like, if I could get the Pee-wee bike, I'd get one right now.
And about 85 feet of chain.
Yeah, I know, right? And it's funny too. I wrote this down. They said there were approximately 10 to 12 bicycles that were built for this movie from some place called Pedal Pusher Bike Shop in Newport Beach, California. And the way the film worked this out with them is they said one of two things: we'll either give you credit in the film, or we'll give you 10 racks. And so they took the money, but then Paul Rubin sent them a signed picture as Pee-wee Herman as well.
And I guess too, maybe they got a credit inside at the end of the film as well that might have encouraged people to go there for bikes and get custom bikes. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if they kept all the bikes, but I might have built a couple extra just to be like, yo, this the same bike. You probably could have sold that for 10 racks to the right collector.
What? Especially nowadays, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause everybody's chasing the past.
Yeah. So but one of the things that really stands out to me too is Paul Rubens himself, man. Like, this was crazy. Like this film is about this character, but it was so good that it spawned. He got a TV show off of this thing, man. And I think he had been kind of doing some version of this character. He was a stand-up comedian.
And this was his stand-up that was like kind of reaching or giving him a level of success.
So he's kind of using this character's tones and inflections in his act, and it led to him getting a TV show, which is a thing that was going on a lot in this era. Like even Tim Allen, a lot of people don't know that he was kind of a blue comedian, but what ended up happening, which happened to a lot of these guys in this era, Roseanne, comes to mind, and other people, even, some of the Wayans and stuff, but they ended up getting TV and movie deals, which essentially kind of put their stand-up careers on ice, or that was it. That's why people don't know about Tim Allen, because he kind of stopped and went on to do his show.
Home Improvement, why do anything else?
Yeah, but then Pee-wee got Pee-wee's Playhouse, man, which if you grew up in this era, this was a must-see, man.
Yes.
We all got up to watch cartoons, but one of the things that we got up for Saturday morning too was for Pee-wee's Playhouse, man. This thing was such a weird but also fun and just entertaining thing at the time. Pee-wee Herman, the Good Witch, Wizard of Oz. But you know what I'm talking about.
Dude, Lawrence Fishburne was in there. He was the
Cowboy Curtis.
You had the Genie, Mechalekahani.
Let's fuck me up with that one. Yo, and Cherry, and just so many cool characters. The pterodactyl, and there was the scandal. My man Paul got caught in an adult theater. They said he was beaten off, but ain't that what you go there for? And then that broke, and it just messed everything up, man. Pee-wee disappeared. The show got pulled from all the networks, and he kind of like his career was just thrown on ice. It was done because I think by the time that happened, we had already had Pee-wee's the Big Tent, the circus.
What was that? Big Top Pee-wee.
Yeah, Big Top Pee-wee, and that was it, dude. The show was gone and everything, man. They just put him on ice for a long time.
And it's wild too, because before this movie came out, he actually he was one of the front runners to be hired for the new wave of actors and actresses coming in on Saturday Night Live, like with Eddie Murphy in them.
Wow!
But he just barely missed it. He said that's what prompted him to make this movie with such force, because he wanted to show them that he did have the talent, and that his character, this Pee-wee Herman, this man child, could find an audience. And then with the success of this movie, like you said, it led to that TV show. And had he never had the theater thing happen, it would still be on the air. You know what I mean?
He was good, man. If you just watch what's done in this performance, and even when he's joking or he's doing impressions in the film, and like just he's playing this character that's really a dick, but he's lovable. We love him because we kind of want to be him in a way. Like we want his toys and gadgets and his. We'll never see his parents. I don't even know what the hell's going on, man. It's goofy. It don't make no sense, but
he is a man child. Like you can tell he's self-sufficient. He's on his own. But it's this childlike innocence that he has. But like you said, he is arrogant.
Yeah.
But one thing that I do like is what kind of like helps cleanse the palate a little bit with him being the way he is the character Francis, because it shows that there is another man child out there.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
that's worse. He's on they're on the opposite ends. It's like if we got two man childs, I'd rather hang with Pee-wee than my man.
Absolutely. Francis is a douche. But I love their first interaction. He's like, "It's my birthday, Pee-wee, and my dad said I can get anything. I want your bike."
But that's the thing. We get the impression that Francis is the spoiled rich kid, but I think we ain't out here slumming. He got some bread or something, man. He's living for where he's at. Like his house might not be as fancy as Francis, but he's not far behind. Like he's got all the means, and like I said, it's interesting. We don't see his parents or anything. He seems self-sufficient, but we don't see him go to work. No. But he got all his bread. He got nice car. He got crazy gadgets in the house. Like I was not reading, a car, but a nice bike.
I was reading something in here. It's apparently he gets his money from making gadgets and for some company. But that's the thing. Speaking of the house, dude, I love that scene which shows him first wake up, and we really just get a deep dive into all of these crazy things that he's got going on. The oversized knife and fork that he eats his breakfast with, the breakfast maker. And dude, I love the part where it shows them making the breakfast, because you can tell like that could have inspired Tim Burton in a way. It made me feel like Edward Scissorhands, dude, when they're showing the whole cookie cutter thing. You know what I'm saying? It was like the same flow.
He reminds me of he's like the dad from Gremlins, but his stuff works.
His stuff works really well. And they said in real life, a lot of the stuff that they had, that's actually Paul Rubens' real stuff. Like,
what? Yeah, that's crazy.
So I don't know if he's like really a man child. I mean, who knows? But like he embodied this role, like the same way, like that, like Hulk Hogan is the wrestler all the time. Big brother.
Yeah.
Pee-wee is Pee-wee.
It's so crazy that, like I said, man, it's rare. Like, we took this character out of here and then just put him in a TV show, and there's no difference. He's the same dude, like the same character.
And the crazy thing is that a lot of these cast members in this film also had a role in the TV show. They just played different characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, he had the love, all the way around. And then, speaking of that, I love the dialogue. The way this film was written, you know what I'm saying? And then you got to shout out Paul Rubens, Michael Vorhall, and Phil Hartman. They did the writing, and I want to say this was their first screenplay collectively that any of them have wrote.
Man, rest in peace, Phil Hartman. Yeah, that's definitely a talent that we lost way too soon, man. It's ridiculous, man. The way he, got taken away from us, but he was amazing, man.
And then it's like I said, it's like the little thing. Like the one part where he's talking to the chick and the dinosaur, and he's like, everyone's got a big butt. Let's talk about your big butt. But you can tell what he's talking about. But it's like everything has like a double meaning. But because of his childlike innocence, you can tell he's not trying to be like vulgar or not using it as the way that it sounds to the average person. You know what I mean? I really enjoy all of the banter, and then like you said, like his sarcasm. And these cameos, even if they have like what seems to be like a very insignificant role, is still very meaningful to the world building that's happening all around us on this adventure that we're going on.
Man. Yeah. So also the adventure itself, man, it's this is basically your formulaic road trip movie, but it's road trip movie with just a lot of just magic and character involved, man. He's meeting crazy characters on the way. Like those are my favorite moments, man. Especially in the beginning when he starts his journey, he gets picked up by Mickey, basically a fugitive that's on a run, because basically he's essentially hitchhiking out to where he thinks his bike is at. But first of all, he meets a fortune teller, which is also, wow, this is one of my favorite scenes, man. It's a downpour, my man's going to go see this fortune teller. He's desperate now. He's trying to find the whereabouts of his bike. He's done plastered the town with posters and all that, and he's going to this fortune teller. But my favorite part, he's in the rain. He's got the hoodie on.
Yeah.
And then the goons jump out on him.
Yes.
This is what you doing around here. And he's just like,
and you know who the main goon was, dog? It was Tim Burton.
Yeah,
Tim Burton was the main goon. Yeah.
He just backed him down with the biggest bluff, yo. And they was like, that was so great, man.
And it's funny too, because like one of my favorite scenes is right before that, where he has the town meeting, and he's like, yeah, you see this pen? I bought this pen an hour before my bike was stolen. What's the significance? I don't know.
Yeah, he's called the whole town to help find his bike, but he's treating them like they're the criminals.
Guilty.
Yeah, it's the kind of like, you done fucked up, right, scene.
Yes, yes, exactly.
But Pee-wee Herman's the interrogator, man.
Yeah, and my man, the bike owner Chuck, he's like, Pee-wee, we've been here for over 3 hours. What are we doing? He was like, I don't know.
None of them have the bike, man. It's nuts, man. But it's great. But then we got Mickey, and then we get Large Marge, man, which is also one of the greatest moments. That scene is scary. Like I remember watching this as a kid, and it builds you up to like one of the craziest sight gags. Like it's after he leaves Mickey, he hitches a ride with a truck driver, and he jumps in the truck, and then she starts telling him this wild story, this creepy on a dark, lonely night kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it's just wild, man. She talks about a wreck, and I just love it for the fact that when it's done, you realize he's been talking to a ghost. Yes. He got a ride from a ghost, which is just crazy, which is making this thing just putting it in that kind of. It's fun, it's oddball, but also you're adding a fantasy element. Yes. Like this isn't a real story or world that's based in reality at all. And they're just having fun with that, man. I think it's cool, man.
And it's really cool. The cool thing about that scene, too, if you notice the whole time Large Marge is talking, she never blinks. Standing on a dark night, just like tonight.
Yo, props to that act. I think she passed away a while ago. Yeah, I'm trying to think who was the Alice Nunn. Yeah, she passed away a few years ago. The Large Marge actor, but that was great.
The part where she turns, I love that we get in the earliest phases, the Tim Burton element throughout this film. Like when she that whole claymation stuff, like when she transforms her face and goes, she looked like this. Blah!
Yeah,
that was so Tim Burton. One of my favorite Burton elements was after it's later on in the film, after he crashes the bike, the motorcycle bike, in through the sign, and he has the dream about the doctors, and you see all these crazy looking doors, kind of looks like Alice in Wonderland. But when you look at the nurses and doctors, dude, they look really creepy. They're like these clowns with these smile faces all the way up, and I mean, it's like, dude, you can really see that. In this film, Burton is really just scratching the surface with what we have known him for in later films, such as Beetlejuice or even like Nightmare Before Christmas, things like that. Yeah, and it's just nice to see that he stuck true to himself. The only thing that he had to do was really just get someone to give him a chance, which Rubens did, because he wasn't the first option to direct this film. He actually. Rubens didn't have a director. They had the screenplay and everything, and he got in touch with Shelley Duvall, who starred in Burton's first short film called Frankenweenie. And Rubens reached out to her, and she was like, yo, I know the director that you should put on this film. I'm going to link y'all up. And, magic was made.
But you can see, because this is one of his earliest films, right? If
this is his first feature film.
Yeah.
His first feature length film.
And it's kind of, you're seeing like elements of his style or whatever that would show up, in the later films, trying to think of another thing, man, but yeah, just the story itself, man. That journey is just crazy, man. Especially, I think, once he finds out, he gets to closer to the bike, he eventually goes to the Alamo. That's where the fortune teller sent him in. And it gets weird once he gets there, and that eventually sends him to Hollywood, man. I think there's elements of this that show up in other films, like when he gets to Hollywood. That reminds me so much of Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Yes.
When they get to that scene, there's even a similar style chase scene, because once Pee-wee gets there and he's running through the Hollywood.
He's running through Warner Brothers studio.
Yeah.
And there's so much craziness going on. I mean, you see the Batmobile, the colored elephants, and just all this crazy stuff. And the cool thing about that too is like we watch it as it's happening, right? But then once he gets jammed up after, you know, the pet shop, he saves all the animals, gets the help from the little chimps. Like, you can help me. They save all the animals, and the cops are interrogating him, and they're watching the tape of him just ransacking Warner Brothers. It's playing like a Godzilla film. Like, you see the big, like, 3-headed dragon coming through, and he's just on the bike, like, just wrecking shit up.
Yeah, bunch of just gags, man. Really good gags. I like when he goes into the pet store that's on fire.
Yeah,
and he's saving every little animal. And then
there's some fishes. Save the fishes.
I love the part where he comes out with the snakes.
With the snakes.
He's like, this is the last straw, and he passes out.
You know, they said those were real snakes, and he really has a fear of snakes. So that was some real stuff. And you know, we can't talk about this film without talking about the dance.
Oh yeah,
you know, when my man goes into the biker bar and he's like, "Oh, excuse me."
That's an interesting scene because that's when Large Marge drops him off, I think, and he goes right into that diner. And
that was a diner. No, the biker bar happens after the Alamo.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then the cool thing about that is like
she drops him off to have the Alamo, and then he goes to the biker bar.
Yeah, after the diner, he goes to the Alamo, keeps asking where the basement is in the Alamo, and goes to the biker bar, and he's on the payphone because he wants to call Dottie to ask for a ticket back, and he's like, "Can y'all please be quiet? I'm on the phone." And then that's when he realizes like, this is a members only bar. And then they go down this whole thing. They're like, what do you know, they kick him out. Then he knocks all the bikes over. And the dude's like, oh, I say we kill him. And the other dude's like, I say we tattoo him, then we kill him. And then the other one's like, I say we do this, tattoo him, then we kill him. And he's like, well, don't I get a last request? And dude, the funniest thing about this scene, right, is once he rides out on the, you know, they give him his jacket. He, you know, now he's Pee-wee the biker. He rides off, smacks into the sign. It looks like after he hits the sign, he just goes flying off. Dude, that's not even him. It's a piece of the sign.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Yeah.
Like, and I didn't know that until I watched this with the commentary. They were like, yo, everybody thinks it's Pee-wee flying off. It's not. It's a piece of the sign. But they said it looks so good on film off that one take that they kept it in the film.
Keep it in there, yeah. And that's crazy because I remember the song. I can't remember who the artist was, but shortly after this film came out, there was like a rap group or something, and they had a song, and it was like, let's do the dance called a Pee-wee Herman. And they was doing the dance that he was doing, you know, in the
song is called Tequila, but I don't know.
I mean, yeah, the tequila version, but then someone made the
Pee-wee Herman. Yeah, I remember the Pee-wee song. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So yeah, Joeski Love in 1986 made a song about the Pee-wee dance, and I remember this shit would come on Saturday night videos, and
the white shoes,
and then they and they even had some clips from him in the thing, and yeah, look, the animated Pee-wee.
Yep,
that is so nuts. I don't know how they got away with using those clips, but yeah, that was the thing. I remember this that was my shit too,
and it's funny too because like before he did the dance, remember he goes to the jukebox and then like the little cook gives him the big platform. Like, dude, there's someone else that got a bigger a platform version of Pee-wee shoes. He's like, here, man.
Yeah, that was my shit, man.
Yeah,
like Saturday night videos. Besides the movies, I'm just up with my little cousins and stuff, and we watching all those, everything that came on. It had Madonna. Man. I remember the Michael Jackson stuff they was playing.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
Tito Jackson.
Yeah, right.
Part-time lover. No, who was that? Who's part-time lover? Was that Stevie?
Part-time lover.
I can't remember, dude. I can't remember.
I think that's Stevie Wonder. Yeah, man.
Yeah, my memory's fading, folks, man.
Get some Billy Ocean thrown in there. You know what I'm saying? That was his
Queen. So that was by a guy named Dabin, yo. Part-time. Oh, yeah, Stevie Wonder. Part-time lover.
Yeah, there you go.
80s was wild, man.
Oh, they were great, man.
Yeah. I mean, this thing gets to its conclusion, man. Like I said, man, we get a really great chase through the Hollywood, which I think has been duplicated many times in other films. And honestly, I think he probably stole this from like Charlie Chaplin kind of things, you know, and stuff like that. So
good pool. Yes, absolutely.
So it was cool, man. ultimately, like for me, man, this is one of the classics, man. I could throw this on and have fun with it and laugh at it and just enjoy what they're presenting us to the world. It still feels like a coming from an innocent time in the world, man. It's not super violent or anything. It's mostly just fun and goofy and silly. And it just feel good kind of filmmaking,
and as off the wall as it is, it's unique in its own right. Like nobody could try to recreate this style of comedy. You know what I'm saying? Not now, without paying homage to where it came. I mean, everyone would know if somebody was trying to duplicate Pee-wee Herman. You know what I mean? It's like this is just something that, even though to me, like watching this film now, it still feels timeless. This is a one-trick pony. He is the only one that can do this. The only other person that I could think maybe could get away with it, and it was slightly similar, was Ernest. You know what I'm saying? But Ernest wasn't a man-child. He was just naive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And no disrespect to Ernest, because he's made at least two of my favorite films, but I just don't think the writing or the production value was as good as something like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And one more thing, dude. When the movie comes to an end, I love the film within the film. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we got the dude playing double O Pee-wee or whatever the case, and it's so funny because
it's like Morgan Fairchild and then playing Dottie.
And it's so funny because then Pee-wee gets a cameo as the like receptionist at the hotel, or the butler, or I don't the bell guy, the one who takes the bags, the one who wears the little red hat. And dude, when he starts talking, his voice is all distorted. He's like, Pee-wee Herman. Dude, it's so funny, man. I love that because this film also, it just has a lot of foreshadowing. Because like at the very beginning, if you remember, when he talks to the little biker group and they're like, "Yo, did you get your bike back? What did Dottie do to it?" He's like, "Can't talk about it. It's like James Bond kind of stuff." You know what I mean?
And he steals Pee-wee's line. He's like, "I'm a loner. I'm a rebel." Then,
dude, it's so funny because remember he tells that to Dottie after she asks him to take her, wants him to take her to the drive-thru. But then when he wants to go on the road with the dude, the escaped convict, the convict hits him with the same stuff. He's like, "You don't understand. I'm a loner." And Pee-wee's like, "Damn, deja vu."
Yeah, I know, right? I wonder if he got money from that. 'Cause I'm telling you, man, Jay and Silent Bob ripped this whole thing off, because even when we had the fake versions of them, Cock Knocker and the other and what was it? Blunt Boy,
Blunt Man, and Chronic. I actually got action figures of all three of them, John.
Dude, I love that movie. To me, that might be one of Kevin Smith's best, man. After Clerks, I think that's my favorite one, man. Then maybe Mallrats, man. But
I like Mallrats too. But then again, the Jay and Silent Bob characters were like my favorite in the Mallrats.
It's a great film, man. I think we can wrap this up, man.
Yeah,
definitely. If you haven't seen it in a while, check it out. If you've never seen it, what are you waiting for, man? This is one of the greatest ones. It was so good. We had to get Bobby Rubens, Pee-wee Herman himself to come on the show with us today, man. So
yes. Like I said, I'm just ditto. You know what I'm saying? This film, it is timeless. It will, if you've seen it and you're a little longer in the tooth, such as ourselves, it brings you back to your childhood. It is a feel good film from beginning to end, and it's a short watch. Who don't got an hour and 30 minutes of free time to watch a movie that's just going to make you laugh and feel good? And if you got little ones, this is one that you can watch with your children carefree, no problem. There's no violence. There's no sexual innuendos. There's nothing going on that's going to raise any eyebrows or have them ask you any questions after the credits start rolling. So I firmly believe this is one. It is in the must watch category at some point. You know what I mean? Everybody has to see this film.
Yeah, definitely, man. Check it out, man. I think we're gonna wrap this up, folks, man. This has been another episode of Classes of Cinematics, man. Make sure you look below and click on that merch link, man. It helps support us, you know what I'm saying? And help us out, man. And you can check us out at Classes of Cinematics on Instagram And you can follow me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
And this is Pee-wee Blockbuster. You can catch me at Bobby Blockbuster 118 on the gram.
Yeah. All right, folks. We out of here.